Hello there. It's Val for another video, and yes, I am using a VTuber avatar thing. um, it's interesting. My friend actually made it for me, so I'm using it. And yeah, you'll see by the title, I watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie in theaters literally today. Only recently came back home from watching it. And yeah, honestly, I genuinely enjoyed the movie. I really did. I know that it had bad ratings and everything, like 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb and 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm like, well, okay. I don't usually worry about like critic ratings because I do have to factor in that a lot of them can be kind of jaded. They've seen a ton of movies, so certain tropes, certain jump scares in horror movies, particularly, and so on. They've seen it all before, so anytime they see it in yet another movie, they kind of just, a lot of them kind of just judge based on that. I know there's exceptions here and there. I'm not gonna, you know, try and say that, critics are super terrible people, blah, 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 but yeah, their ratings weren't that bad, and I'm just like, well, I mean, I'm gonna want to see it anyway, see what my own perspective is, and honestly, I genuinely enjoyed it. It was a really good time. The kind of essence that you would get from Five Nights, I personally think, is in the movie. But if you're the kind of person that's like super into the lore, I will have to break it to you now. They did change some stuff. I don't think it's like a world-ending change, but I know some people might get upset with it, so just warning you now. If you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want to worry about spoilers, honestly, stop watching here because I'm going to want to talk about it. So, yeah. But to start, I do want to bring up my experience with Five Nights. I actually personally have never played any of the games. I actually own a good chunk of the games. Like Five Nights 1 through 4, I have Sister Location, and I have the Pizzeria Simulator on Steam, but I actually have never even physically opened the games, let alone played them, so, I'm a great fan. My experience actually comes from Matt Pat from Game Theory, who, by the way, is in the movie. It's interesting. He made a short cameo, and it was kind of amusing, and also surprised me. I'm like, what the hell are you doing in here? But, I mean, it makes sense. But yeah, I learned about Five Nights through his very first theory on the games, and I was, hooked since then. I've watched most of those videos at this point, and pretty much anything I know about the lore is based on what he theorized and what he's found out, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, so that's kind of where my love for the franchise kind of came in. I haven't seen some of his newer stuff because I know that there's other games outside of the Pizzeria Simulator, and I don't know about those ones because I haven't seen those videos in particular. But yeah, with the knowledge that I did get, I'm just like, this is gonna be interesting. Oh, I did also read the books. Well, I didn't physically read them. I used an audiobook, but I went through those books. The first ones that came out, so Silver Eyes, what are the other ones? I actually physically have them. I'm looking at my bookshelf now. Uh, Silver Eyes, Twisted Ones, and The Four Closet. So, yeah, I got the audiobooks for those, read those. I have the physical versions because I like the franchise. I can't help it. I know that Scott Cawthon retconned many things many times over, and while I think that they could be kind of minor, certain things got retconned again. I guess to start in, I think it was mentioned in the games, William Afton, or the purple guy, he had a daughter that he lost as a small child because of like the whole animatronics thing. In the movie, she is an adult and knows about his stuff and only as of the events of this movie, decide to try and do anything to stop it. And, I mean, she gets shanked at the end and doesn't die? I don't know if she's going to still live. Who knows? I mean, the movie did kind of end off basically being like, yeah, this is totally open for a sequel, so that's going to be exciting and unfortunate potentially, because a lot of times sequels suck. But, yeah, Matthew Lillard playing as William Afton. I mean, he had a different name in there as well. I forgot it. I don't care. Because, I mean, the fake name is just the fake name. He's William Afton, that's it. But, Matthew Lillard was actually pretty well, like, he did a pretty good job in his acting, which is amusing for me, because he's a small part of the reason I also wanted to see the movie, because, quite literally, my only other experience in seeing his acting was when he played as Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies. So I'm just like, I really hope he doesn't become that in the movie when he's supposed to be playing an imposing villain, because that would have been horrible, horrifying. But no, there was actually 2 small moments in his dialogue where it kind of slipped and sounded similar to that, but aside from that, he honestly really did a good job. I liked a lot of the casting choices. Most of them did really, really well. There was only 2 exceptions, and they were only extras. They were basically just, you know, there for the body count, and that's about it. And, yeah, like, one of them, his expression really never changed all that much, and then he dies. And then the only other one was this other dude where, like, he sees the first guy dying and everything, which I'll bring up in a sec, or bring up further in a sec. Breaking continuity for a sec, I forgot to classify which animatronics did what, because I said I was going to get to it, and then I forgot, because I tend to lose track of everything when I'm going off script. First blood came from the cupcake. Yeah. It bit someone's face off. It was amusing. The guy that I said really didn't seem to emote much. Yeah, he was the first to die, and it was from his face being bitten off, essentially, by the cupcake. And it was kind of fucking hilarious. Bonnie killed next, the screaming guy that made me laugh in the theaters. And, I believe the immediate next one to kill was Foxy, actually. And then Freddy bit someone in half. And that was pretty much it for actual deaths. Not really many at all. Which does actually lead to one issue I also forgot to mention. The rating being 14A, it's still technically not enough. I mean, luckily it wasn't PG-13, but you still didn't really see any of, like, most of the deaths. Like, you see a little bit of the dude struggling as, you know, the cupcake is eating his face. Bonnie's, thing you don't see at all. It cuts away from Foxy killing as well. And then for Freddy's, you see the person get bit in half and everything, but you don't really see gore, and it happens in a silhouette, so they kind of ruined it, but it's just to, I guess, make a safer rating, I don't know. But anyway, back to the original clips. And he sees that, and then he goes running away screaming, and that scream was so, like, so silly for me that I actually literally burst out laughing in the theater, and I was not the only one. Actually, what's interesting is, as I went to the theater, there was a bunch of people that were, you know, dressed up a little bit to kind of be part of that. So I was like, oh, I know which people are watching the fucking movie, because some of them had Bonnie ears and, like, other kind of things that made it obvious what they were going to be watching. I actually paid tickets for, like, a VIP kind of thing, so 18 plus, no kids were allowed in there, so that worked for me personally, because I don't really, I didn't want to deal with screaming children, potentially. I just kind of want to be able to watch the movie. And the VIP thing also had like more comfortable seats and a better menu of items, so I didn't have to buy the typical concessions. I mean, you still could, but I didn't. I got nachos, some really good nachos that had, you know, proper cheese on it and a bunch of other stuff. It was so good. Anyway, back to the movie. um, but yeah, it was honestly really interesting. I liked how the animatronics looked. They looked really great, in my opinion. I was confused at Bonnie being blue because that's supposed to be for Toy Bonnie, not for OG Bonnie. And I mean, I also brought that up with my mom, who I brought with me, and she probably was just confused because she doesn't know anything about the games. It's just me. But yeah, the actor for Mike Schmidt actually did a really fantastic job. I was really invested in like seeing how things would progress for him. It was highly entertaining. It was interesting that they decided to have him have siblings, one being named Garrett, who died as a child because of William, also confirmed being killed by William himself. And then he had a sister, Abby, which you probably see in the trailers and everything if you've seen the trailers. Because in the games, he didn't really technically have that kind of identity type thing. But if you do look at Matt Pat's game theory stuff, his theory is that, you know, Mike Schmidt is another Afton, so like his like William Afton's son or whatever that comes after him, yada yada, and he becomes some weird purple thing too. I don't know. The lore is kind of confusing, convoluted, yada yada, and again, they changed stuff. So yeah, but I enjoyed it. I really did. It for me, it just was the right thing, and the only potential thing that I guess could say sucked was the same kind of thing that made the original game suck and everything. It was the jump scares. They were weak. A lot of jump scares end up being weak just because it usually is like, oh, something comes up in your face and then a loud noise. But yeah, this one didn't have tons of them, but they still had some. And there was a couple other weird moments that I was kind of confused about. But yeah, overall, it's pretty nice. I don't know. There's not much else I can say. I just personally thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually highly recommend that other people see it. Unless you're the kind of person that's just like, oh, everything sucks because, you know, they changed the lore and blah, 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 then fine, don't watch it. I don't care. I personally enjoy it for people who like to actually enjoy movies, not people that think that the lore is everything, considering Cawthon made the games. He retconned a whole bunch of things in the games. He was a producer for the movie and had a bunch of other credits for contributions to the movie. So if he decided to retcon shit again, oh well, he decided to do it again. But it could just be just another one of those kind of alternate universe type things that he kind of does. Because, for example, like the games and the books are allegedly supposed to be canon, but they're, you know, their own universes in a sense, but then he kind of tries to put threads of them together, which kind of undoes that. I don't know. As far as things go, I think it was just entertaining. I really did like it, and yeah. Sorry for my usual rambling nonsense that I would typically edit out, but I cannot with this VTuber thing. And I also apologize belatedly for the mic quality probably sounding a little bit different because I have to use strictly OBS because my old setup doesn't work when I try using the VTuber thing. Crash is one of the programs that I need to make the vocals, where I can then edit it and so on, but whatever. Anyway, if you enjoyed my rambling, whatever, like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of it. If you'd like to support me further, then support me on Patreon, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!